In John's Gospel, we can see Jesus said, I am the light, I am the door, I am the good shepherd, I am the way and the truth and the life, I am the resurrection and the life, and I am the vine. Let's just assume that all 7 of these I am statements were meant figuratively and not at all literally. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking these statements here, and then we're going to use the I am statements to figure out what these statements mean without using these words. So let's make our way to the door. Jesus said, he who enters by the door. So we got he who enters by the door. We're going to get rid of the door. And now we just have he who enters by blank. So what can we fill in that blank with? I mean, it used to be the door. That's what he used to say. And if we go here to the I am statements, Jesus said, I am the door. Oh, those are the 2 words that we just got out of here. So if Jesus is the door, then we should be able to fill in the blank here with Jesus. And now it says, he who enters by Jesus. Is that okay to do? Can we swap out the door for Jesus? Well, if we look at the full passage here, that's exactly what Jesus did. He started off by saying, he who enters by the door. This was a figure of speech. The people did not understand it. And Jesus went on to explain, I am the door. If anyone enters by me. So Jesus went from saying enters by the door to enters by me. So our fill in the blank answer here is exactly what Jesus taught. Let's try another one. Jesus said, the good shepherd lays down his life for the sheep. So let's take the good shepherd out of here, and we're left with blank lays down his life for the sheep. Going back to the chart, we see Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. So since the blank used to be the good shepherd, we should be able to fill in that blank with Jesus. So now we have Jesus lays down his life for the sheep. And how about that? If you go to the passage, Jesus even says, I lay down my life for the sheep. So we filled in the blank correctly again. Let's go to the next one. Jesus said, the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine. So remember, we're trying to say this same exact thing without using any of these words. So let's throw away those branches and pull out that vine. And now we have blank cannot bear fruit by blank unless blank abides in blank. Ooh, 4 blanks. We're definitely stepping up our game here. So let's get back to the table. According to Jesus, the branches were people. Now 3 of these blanks, we're talking about a branch. So let's fill in those blanks, and now we can say a person cannot bear fruit by themselves unless that person abides in blank. Now that last blank, that used to say the vine. And according to the Bible, Jesus said, I am the vine. So I'm pretty sure that last blank is Jesus, which means a person cannot bear fruit by themselves unless that person abides in Jesus, which is again something that Jesus himself taught. He said, abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit by itself unless it abides in the vine, neither can you unless you abide in me. Now let's get some bread. Jesus made a bunch of statements about the bread. The bread of God is he who comes down from heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, the bread that I will give, whoever feeds on this bread will live forever. Let's get rid of the bread. And now we have blank of God is he who comes down from heaven. If anyone eats of blank, blank that I will give, and whoever feeds on blank will live forever. So you know the drill. These used to say the bread. So let's go back to the chart and hey look, Jesus said, I am the bread. So we can fill in all the blanks with Jesus, meaning that Jesus of God is he who comes down from heaven. And if anyone eats of Jesus, Jesus that I will give, and whoever feeds on Jesus will live forever. So let's go ahead and check our work again. Jesus talks about the Father who sent him, meaning God sent him, which means he's of God. Even Simon Peter says, Lord, we have believed and have come to know that you are the Holy One of God. So Jesus is of God, and he did say, I have come down from heaven. So we got that one right. Jesus said, whoever feeds on my flesh, whoever feeds on me. That all matches with if anyone eats of Jesus. Next up, Jesus that I will give. Jesus said, the bread that I will give for the life of the world is my flesh. So Jesus is saying that he will give his flesh. And just like my flesh is a part of me, Jesus' flesh is a part of him. So what Jesus will give is Jesus. In other words, Jesus that I will give. Now let's check out this last one here. Jesus said, whoever feeds on this bread, he will live forever. But we were getting rid of the bread. We had a blank there, so we filled it in with Jesus because he said, I am the bread. So it should be okay to say whoever feeds on Jesus will live forever. And how about that? Jesus said, whoever feeds on me, he also will live because of me. So that was fun. Now we have this table here that talks about things that Jesus talked about, statements that Jesus said involving those things, and then statements that Jesus made to help understand what these other statements are talking about. So let's add another row here to see how Jesus said these statements without using these words. So this row is basically the fill in the blanks that we just did. And now let's add one more row. The row for what happened next. And we'll start filling that in from the bread column. So this is the column where Jesus talked about eating bread. This is the column where Jesus said he is the bread. And this is the column where Jesus talked about feeding on him. So let's go ahead and ask the question. What happened next? Well, Jesus took bread, blessed it, and said, "Take, eat. This is my body." So yeah, that's what happened next in regards to bread. Let's look at these other columns. What happened next in regards to the door, or the good shepherd, or the vine? Well, I can tell you this, it's nothing like what happened with the bread. The Bible never records any event in which Jesus walked up to a door, blessed it, and said, "Enter by this. This is my body." Nor does the Bible record any event in which Jesus introduces the apostles to a good shepherd, blesses them, and says, "This guy's going to lay down his life for you. This is my body." And also the Bible never records any event in which Jesus grabbed a vine, blessed it, and said, "Abide in this. This is my body." The bread is the only one where Jesus takes the thing he's talking about, the bread, blesses it, and says, "Take, eat, this is my body."